Hello everyone, welcome to a new video here on Phloshop. My name is Joseph. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I took inspiration from an illustration done by an illustrator. And it was a mouthful, Isabelle. She has a lot of amazing illustrations as I'm going to show you right here. And there was this particular one that I was drawn to simply because the drawing was done for Scorpio and I was born in November, so I'm a Scorpio. And I was inspired to do this first. So I'm going to show you how I studied the image, the things I looked out for, and how I ended up replicating it for my photo shoot. So we're turning this illustration into this picture right here, and I'm going to show you the things I looked out for, the things I did on set. I'm also going to play a behind the scenes video for you guys to see the little setup that we did, or just a one light thing. So I'm going to jump right into the video. Basically, this technique is also going to apply to when you're studying images in like a magazine or something of the sort, you know. So these are the things that you need to look out for before you shoot or take inspiration from any source. So whether it's an album cover, whether it's a magazine, like wherever it is that you're taking inspiration from, you need to be able to know how to read light. And digital artists or illustrators generally have a very good sense of lighting, because most of the time they're also drawing from reference or they're drawing from memory, and to be able to register all these little details in your drawings it's impressive. So as a photographer, seeing that and being able to replicate that, it's quite an interesting experience. So I'm going to take you through the journey, and yeah, so let's just start. So the first thing I noticed in Isabelle's illustration is the fact that we have a bright point right here, we have one right under the eyes, we have one on the bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, just where this the top part of her lips, and right here, and there's a little bit of light just across her collarbone. Obviously this part is also catching light, this part is catching light, and this part as well. So what that tells me right off the bat is that the light source isn't to the left or to the right, it's straight on and it's hitting the model directly. One other thing is, in order to determine the height of the light, you can look at where the shadow is falling. And actually, let me just change the color to maybe like a darker red or something, purple. So this area right here lets me know where the shadows are, and it's falling down. It means the light is coming from slightly up above. Also, if you look inside the eyes, if I zoom in just a little bit, you notice this area right here is also in a little bit of a shadow. So this area right here and area right here, so it means that the light was quite high and casting a little shadow downward. The same thing just under the nose. All right, I also noticed that she has a little bit of a defined cheekbone, and that is also telling me that the light source was quite small. Even if I zoom into the illustration a little bit, you'd see that. And let me change the color to represent that, maybe green, a bright green. She has some catch lights right here, and that's just to make the eyes look a little bit more appealing and not dead. So but then it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a direction of the light, you know, because it's shifted a little bit to the right. But based on everything I showed you earlier on, you notice the light is coming from straight on and a little bit up above. You'd also notice that she has some shadows being cast right here and right there, also supporting the fact that the light is coming from up above. So we're going to move to the photo that I took and see if we can get these things to match. So the first thing I did on my photograph was use a small octa and also raise it quite high. So if I'm going to look at where the light source is on mine as well, I noticed that there is a light right here, right under the eyes. I got one on the bridge of the nose, tip of the nose. I also was able to get a light right here and the reflection here as well. Actually, I missed one on her chin, and there's one right here, and I also have that on mine. Another thing is, like I drew on that, I have a little bit of light right here, and I have a light here, a light there, and right in the middle as well. Moving on to the shadows, if I zoom in just a little bit into the eyes, you notice this area is dark as well. So I'm gonna now draw that. So we have shadow right here, shadow right there. under the nose a little bit, and we have a little bit of the defined cheek area that I mentioned, and we also have a deep shadow right here, which made us know that the light was coming from above. We also have the shadows which are falling just right here as well. So basically I got the lighting exactly as she depicted in her illustration. Also zooming in, let me hide this a little bit, and then you notice that I have a very small catch light in her eyes, meaning that the light source that I used was quite small, and I put a reflector underneath just to add a little bit of life to the portrait. And also that is what's reflected on her lips, to be able to show the reflection of the light, and just added more pop to the image. So I'm gonna go straight into the layers of the actual picture, and I'm gonna run through one by one to let you guys see exactly what I did, and hopefully even play behind the scenes for you guys to see. So when I took the picture, this is how it looked like. And starting off on the base layer, what I did was just shift the image a little bit to the left. The next thing I did was fix the gap on the right, because I had moved the picture to the left, so I just needed to fill in with gray on the right hand side. The next thing I did was liquefy the body a lot, and that's because I wanted to get a little bit of that length in the portrait, because looking at it right now, she had a wider chest as compared to the illustration. So I just needed to push everything in and also shape the hair just a little bit. So you notice the right side of the hair has been fixed, and I also painted in some strands myself just so the base would look a little bit more like the illustration on the left hand side. The next thing I did again was to fix the other part of the hair just to make it cleaner and look as symmetrical as it is in the illustration as well. The next thing I did was just did some skin healing. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see right here. This is the before and this is the after. So I just removed some of the hair strands, a few blemishes on his skin, stuff like that, nothing too deep. Clean some of the hair strands in the hair as well, especially the ones that were very obvious and were bothering me. I just took those out. The next thing I did was to add a little bit more baby hair. When it's zoomed out like this, you can't really tell that it was painted in, but if I zoom in, then you begin to see that I did a lazy job. But I mean, who's looking? The next thing I did was also add frequency separation, just to smoothing out the skin a little bit. So this is before frequency separation and after frequency separation. The next thing I did was also match the skin tone just a little bit, because I could see there was a lot of difference between like her chest area right here and her neck and her face. So I just tried to match it up just a little bit. The next thing I did was add dodge and bend just to add more definition and make the image pop a little bit more, just like in the illustration. And I desaturated the skin tones just a little bit. I ran my melanin action just to, you know, take out the reds and the yellows in the skin a little bit. I'm going to bring that back in the coloring, but I just wanted to take it out a little bit, and something I normally do. The next thing I did was to add the scorpions onto her shoulders, and I worked on the coloring. And at this point I felt it looked like something I really liked. The only thing is the difference between the lips here and then the lips in the illustration. So I also just made a copy of the lips alone. So if I drag that, yes, so I just have the lips right here, and I just, if you look at the shape of what's existing and what I have done, you notice I have added a little bit more shape, and I use a liquify tool to do that just so it could look a little bit more like the illustration. Alright, then the last and final thing that I did was just to add this white thingy to the base of the picture just so it looked a little bit more like the illustration. Just basically, this is everything I did to move the image that I shot as this, right, and shifted it all the way. So just using little tweaks like liquify and coloring and frequency separation and dodging and burning to move it all the way to something like this. So I'm not going to leave you guys without seeing the behind the scenes video. I'm going to add just a little bit of behind the scenes video so you guys can see what we did on set, and do tell me what you think about the illustration. Also, do tell me what you think about this. You want to see me try and turn more illustrations into pictures and show you how I go about it, do let me know in the comments down below. If you are attempting to read lighting in a magazine, like I said, or from paintings or illustrations or anything of the sort, I hope what I've done today is going to help someone. And leave a like if you enjoyed it. If you aren't a subscriber, I do recommend that you subscribe because I have a lot more content coming. And yeah, that's just about it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.